Yes, you caught my eye. The ranking member of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to contribute to the second reading of the Promotion of Proper Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Value Bill 2021. Mr. Speaker, following the opening of the LGBTQ+ Advocacy Resource Center in Accra, there were consequential plethora of criticisms from a cross-section of Ghanaians, including the National House of Chiefs, the National Chief Imam, the Christian Council, the Catholic Bishop Conference, traditional authorities, among others. And some members of Parliament introduced a private members' bill under reference and for a second reading. Mr. Speaker, the purpose of the bill is clearly stated in paragraph 5.0 of the report of the committee, and if I may read by way of rehashing, saying, Speaker, the object of the bill, as contained in the memorandum accompanying the bill, is to provide for proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family value, proscribe LGBTQ+ and related activities, proscribe propaganda, advocacy for a promotion of LGBTQIAP+ and related activities, provide for the protection and support for children, persons who are victims or accused of LGBTQI and related activities, and other persons and related matters. Mr. Speaker, the object of the bill is very clear. Mr. Speaker, upon its introduction, it was referred to the committee responsible for constitutional, legal, and parliamentary affairs. Mr. Speaker, in line with good parliamentary practice, we advertised the bill, and the bill became so sensational that we have received about 200 memoranda from the general public. And the committee, after going through the bill, came out with a report, and we are praying that the report of the committee be adopted and the bill be passed to law. Mr. Speaker, by way of a preliminary comment, I submit that the bill under reference, if passed into law, would not violate Article 108 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, we've done enough consultation with experts in finance and economics, and we are of the view that Section 100 of the Public Financial Management Act would not be violated if this bill is passed into law, because the bill has no fiscal impact for somebody to say there must be a fiscal impact analysis. We consulted the experts to that effect. Mr. Speaker, as said by those arguing against the bill, I am inclined to say that if this bill is passed into law, there is no provision in any international treaty or convention that will be violated by the passage of this particular bill into law. And they have not even stated one to be violated. Mr. Speaker, what then are, or what is LGBTQ? Mr. Speaker, we are told that LGBTQ+, it is an initialism that stands for lesbians, gay, bisexual, transgender, among others. Mr. Speaker, the question therefore is, what is lesbianism? Mr. Speaker, lesbianism denotes a woman who is sexually and romantically attracted to another woman. Mr. Speaker, that is lesbianism, and that is the L in the LGBTQ. Mr. Speaker, the G denotes gay or homosexuality. That is a man who is sexually and romantically attracted to a fellow man. Mr. Speaker, the B is bisexual. That is those who are attracted to both sex. If you are a man, you are attracted sexually and romantically to a man and a woman. And if you are a woman, you are also sexually and romantically attracted to a woman and a man. Now, transgender, they are talking about gender identity. You are born naturally a man, and instead of remaining a man until your death, you want to transgender from being a man to a woman. You are born naturally as a woman, and you must remain a woman until your death. However, you want to transgender from being a woman into a man. Speaker, these are the initials of the LGBTQ, and they are advocating for same-sex marriage, meaning that if you are a man, you can marry a man, and if you are a woman, you can a woman. Mr. Speaker, we all know that even in the process of pollination in plants, it is male and a female. Mr. Speaker, we know that even in birds, it is male and female. In all animals, including human beings, Mr. Speaker, goats is male and female. Cow is male and female. Even snake is male and female. Mr. Speaker, how much more human being, that is a gregarious animal, will be advocating that a woman must marry a woman and a man must marry a man. Mr. Speaker, I believe strongly that even electricity is positive, negative. Mr. Speaker, I believe that the 275 members of Parliament would not be in Parliament if we encourage this same-sex marriage where a man should be given a right to marry another man and a woman will be given a right to marry another woman. Mr. Speaker, this must be prohibited. Mr. Speaker, they are advocating for same-sex marriage. What then is marriage? Mr. Speaker, there is a famous celebrated case that gives a classical legal definition of marriage. And this case is height versus height. Every student of law in family law knows about this particular case, that the classical legal definition of marriage found in height versus height. According to Lord Penzance, it defines marriage as a voluntary union for life between one man and one woman to the exclusion of others. He never defined marriage to be between a man and another man, or a woman and another woman. Mr. Speaker, if you go further into law, in line with the case of Children versus Gordon Mendoza, Lord Milet stated clearly that in marriage, a man's spouse must be a woman, and a woman's spouse must be a man. They never defined marriage to be between same sex. He even went further to say that any marriage that the spouse will not be, any marriage of a man that the spouse will not be a woman is void. So, Mr. Speaker, what are we talking about advocating for same-sex marriage in the name of human rights? Mr. Speaker, what then is human rights? Mr. Speaker, human rights, basic human rights and freedom, human rights are basic rights and freedom that belong to every person in the world from birth until death. So, Mr. Speaker, with the issue relating to the transgender, are they saying that because I am born a man, I am not given the opportunity as a man to transgender to be a woman, my right is being trampled upon? What then is my right as a man called Bernard Ahiafo? My right is to remain a man until death. I cannot be talking about a fundamental human right to transcend myself from Bernard Ahiafo, a man, into Bernard Ahiafo, a woman. Mr. Speaker, if you are born a man, you have a right to remain a man until death. If you are born a woman, you have a right to remain a woman until death. There cannot be any absolute right for you, a woman, to change into a man, or a man changing into a woman. Mr. Speaker, this is really uncalled for. Mr. Speaker, there is a need for us as a country to respect our culture values. The Constitution in Article 39, particularly Clause 2, is very clear on this issue. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, if I may read Article 39, if I may even read from 39(1). Mr. Speaker, 39(1) says, subject to Clause 2 of this article, the state shall take steps to encourage the integration of appropriate customary values into the fabric of national life through formal and informal education and the conscious introduction of cultural dimensions relevant aspects of our national planning. 2. The state shall ensure that appropriate customary and cultural values are adapted and developed as an integral part of the growing needs of the society as a whole, and in particular that traditional practices which are injurious to the health and well-being of the persons are abolished. Mr. Speaker, I submit that the activities of the LGBTQ are injurious to us as our society. It doesn't respect our culture values. Mr. Speaker, I recall that those who are forcing the LGBTQ activity through our throats in their country is purely monogamous when our culture allows polygamy. And when I ask in their country whether I can have a right to be polygamous, they say no, their cultural values would not permit it. And any attempt to do that will constitute bigamy. Now, if I have my cultural value that we cannot engage in same-sex marriage, and you are saying you have a right, if I don't have a right based on your culture to be polygamous, and you want this country, Ghana, to adopt your so-called culture of same-sex marriage or LGBTQ activity. Mr. Speaker, with all the beautiful women around, we should be encouraged to be getting married, a stiff body getting married to another stiff body. Mr. Speaker, the activities of the LGBTQ cannot be encouraged in any manner whatsoever. A woman with a soft body getting married to another woman with a soft body, it will not match. Mr. Speaker, in the beginning, God created Adam, and thereafter was Eve. God in his own wisdom never created Adam and Adam. You and I will not be on earth if a man is married to another man and a woman is married to another woman. Mr. Speaker, we will not even have you as a speaker.
And I will not be standing here.
Mr. Speaker, I will not even be standing here. Mr. Speaker, with all due respect, I am inclined to say that the countries practicing LGBTQ activity, I gave them 50 years as prophet. They will be extinct on earth. Most of those countries will no longer exist on earth. Very soon, they may even have to be taking labor force from countries not practicing the LGBTQ activity. And Mr. Speaker, that is not the way we want to go. Ghana as a country, our society must not be extinct. Mr. Speaker, I support the passage of this particular bill into law, since it is not in violation of any provision in our 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I look at the Constitution. Chapter 12 from Article 12 is dedicated to fundamental human rights. And you go through it, the bill, if passed to law, will never violate any provision in our Constitution. Mr. Speaker, if you ask them, you are talking about Universal Declaration on Human Rights. Mention one provision in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that this bill seeks to violate. They wouldn't be able to mention any single provision that this bill seeks to violate. Mr. Speaker, this is a law that should even be passed under a certificate of urgency to proscribe the activities of the LGBTQ community. Mr. Speaker, I am in for the passage of the law. And with this few words, I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.